Hello everyone, welcome to Kaylee College of Commerce. I, Professor Sneha Hiremat of Kaylee College of Commerce, Vidyanagar, Hubli, would like to begin with Chapter 4, Planning. A student who wants to secure good marks in the examination has to plan his study. He needs to decide how much time he has to devote for different subjects, like for the preparation, on which topics to lay greater stress, and so on. In other words, one has to decide the course of action in order to get good marks. That would be the planning which is needed for studies. In the same way, for a business enterprise or for any institution, every manager makes plans to turn their dreams into reality. Dreams can be turned into reality only if business managers think in advance on what to do and how to do the plan. Here, planning refers to the process of setting objectives for a given period, formulating various courses of action to achieve the set objectives, and in order to achieve that, selecting the best possible alternative from the among the available various course of action. Planning is that which bridges the gap between where we are and where we want to go. Features of planning. In the words of Kuntz and O'Donnell, planning is deciding in advance what to do, how to do it, where to do it, and who is to do it. Planning bridges the gap from where we want to go. It makes possible for things to occur while would not otherwise happen. In short, to explain what is planning, I would like to quote an example like, if an individual is planning for a trip or a tour, he or she has to decide in advance where to go and how to go, who all will be the members. So, here, after setting an objective, an individual has to decide in advance whatever they have to do to achieve that objective. If planning in advance or deciding in advance is not done, it will not be possible to achieve it successfully. Features of planning. The first point, planning focuses on achieving objectives. Planning is goal oriented. That is, the purpose of planning is to develop and facilitate accomplishment of organizational objectives. Objectives provides the basic guidelines for planning activities. Planning has no meaning unless it positively contributes for the achievement of predetermined goals. Hence, planning focuses on achieving objectives. Second point, planning is a primary function of management. As already been discussed about the management, that it is a process undertaken by a manager to achieve the objective. In that process, planning will be the first function. Planning lays down the base for other functions of management. Every manager is required to plan before performing any other function of management. Thus, planning precedes other functions and it is also referred to as primacy of planning. By setting up objectives in advance, planning directs all other managerial functions towards their attainment. The third is planning is pervasive. Planning is required at all the levels and in all the departments of the organization. As already been discussed, that there are three levels and there are various departments as well as various functions. So planning will be the necessity in all these performing functions. It is not the exclusive function of top management, neither of any particular department. Rather, it is performed by all the managers at various levels. However, the nature and the extent of planning it may vary. For example, top management undertakes strategic planning, whereas middle and lower level management they are involved in departmental planning and operational planning. Fourth point, planning is continuous. Planning is continuous because plans are prepared for a specific period of time. At the end of that period, there is a need for a new plan on the basis of new situations, new conditions. Moreover, due to the ever changing environment, planning becomes a continuous responsibility of management. Continuity of planning is related with the planning cycle. It means that a plan is framed, it is implemented, and it is followed by another plan, and so on. So, planning is called as a continuous process or a continuous function. Planning is futuristic. As already been stated, that it is deciding well in advance about the achievement of the set objectives. Hence, it is said to be futuristic. Planning aims to look into future, analyze it, predict it to the best advantage of an organization. So planning is regarded as forward-looking function based on forecasting. Through forecasting, future events and conditions are anticipated and plans are drawn accordingly. For example, a business firm prepares its annual plan for production and sales on the basis of sales forecasting. That is, planning is a futuristic function. Planning involves decision making. Planning involves proper and careful analysis of various alternatives and selecting the best possible alternative. Thus, decision making is an important part of planning as it involves choice from various alternative course of action. But if there is only one alternative, then there is no need for planning. Planning is a mental exercise. Yes, planning requires application of mind, involving foresight, intelligent imagination, and a sound judgment. So, planning is an intellectual activity of thinking rather than doing, as it determines the action to be taken. Planning requires logical and systematic thinking instead of guesswork. Next, importance of planning. The first importance is it provides directions. By stating the objectives in advance, planning provides direction for action. Planning ensures that the goals or objectives are clearly stated so that they act as a guide for deciding the future course of action and directs all the activities for accomplishing the objectives. Departments and individuals in the organization are able to work in coordination. In the absence of planning, employees would be working in different directions and the organization would not be able to achieve its desired goals. Hence, planning is said to be more important. Why? Because it provides direction for achieving the objectives as well as for the departments to do their work in coordination, and in absence of plan, employees would be in different directions that would lead to a problematic for the organization to achieve the set goal. Secondly, it provides and reduces the risk of uncertainty. It provides certainty and it reduces the risks of uncertainty. Planning enables a manager to look ahead, to be futuristic, to anticipate change, and to prepare for the risks by making necessary provisions. By deciding in advance the tasks to be performed, planning helps to deal with the changes and uncertain events. That is called as anticipation. The uncertainties cannot be eliminated. Here, the thing has to be noted that planning does not prevent from occurring the problems, but it helps a manager to resolve the upcoming problems. It will not stop from the problems arising, but it will help to prevent the problems or how to deal with the problems that may arise in future. Planning makes an earnest attempt to make uncertain future events certain to the certain extent. Thirdly, planning reduces overlapping and wasteful activities. As it already told that planning is coordinating, it is helping in the coordination of different divisions, different departments and individuals. It is giving and ensuring clarity in thought and action as well as work that is carried on smoothly without any interruption because of decision well in advance. It helps in avoiding confusions, misunderstandings, and minimizing useless activities. Planning also makes it easier to detect inefficiencies and take corrective measures to deal with them. Hence, it is said to be helping in reducing the wasteful activities. Planning promotes innovative ideas. Yes, like in board meetings, all the board members together they decide the creative ideas or they come up with the innovative ideas which can take the shape of concrete plans. While planning, many new ideas arise and it results into creative, innovative and foresighted attitude among the managers. Such new ideas can take the shape of concrete plans. Planning is the most challenging activity for the management as it guides all the future actions leading to growth and prosperity of the business. Planning facilitates in decision making. Yes, planning helps the manager to look into future, that is to be futuristic, and make a choice among the various alternative actions. The manager, he has to, in order to select the alternative, he has to evaluate each alternative and select the best one. So, thus, planning helps in taking rational decisions by setting targets and predicting future conditions. Lastly, planning establishes standards for controlling. Controlling involves comparison of actual performance with the predetermined standards. Planning provides the standards against which the actual performance is evaluated. Controlling is usually it is the last function in the management process, but this planning establishes and gives a base and gives a standard that can be compared with the actual performance. In case of any adverse deviation, the management can take remedial measures to improve the results. So, thus, planning is helping to build or to establish a standard for controlling function. In the absence of plans, a manager will have no standards for controlling the actual performance. In short, I would like to say that planning provides the basis of control, that is, controlling is not possible without planning. Thank you all.